Hare Krishna. Question: why does a devotee need to do Apara Dharma? The Bhagavatam says that the Apara Dharma is Kaitava Dharma, it is a cheating religion, and therefore one should practice pure devotional service. Savai pumsam paro dharmo. The Bhagavad Gita also says Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Just give up all varieties of religion and surrender to me. Then why does a devotee need to do Apara Dharma? Answer: because for a devotee, even the performance of aparadharma is a means of executing paradharma. The difference between aparadharma and paradharma can be understood in two ways. One is through the actions, and the second is through the motivations. So, in a technical point of view, aparadharma is the dharma according to varnaashrama. So somebody may act as a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, or brahmachari, grihastha, vanapastha, sannyasi, like that. So now we see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu openly proclaimed, Naham vipro na cha narpatir vanasto yatirva, Naham varni na cha grahapatir, like that. Naham vipro na cha narapatir, napi vaishyo na shudro, Naham varni na cha grahapatir, vanastho yatirva. So he gives up his identification with both all varnas and all ashramas. And he says, Gopi bhartur pad kamalayor dasa dasanu dasa. He says, I am the servant of the gopis, servant of the Lord of the gopis, that is Krishna. So even after describing all this, how did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu behave? He behaved as a sannyasi. And as a sannyasi, he avoided contact with the opposite sex. And he was extremely strict about that. So is it that his actions are not in harmony with his statements? No. We have to understand that as long as we are in the material world, we have to be situated somewhere in the material world. So a devotee is in one sense transcendental to all varnas and ashrams. But still, among the varnas and ashrams, the devotee is situated somewhere. And wherever the devotee is situated, the devotee has to perform the duties of that particular varna or ashram. The way the devotee performs the duties is different from the way other people might do. So those who are following varnashram with the understanding of without understanding of pure devotional service, or without the motivation of wanting to please Krishna, then they will act with some fruitive intention. Maybe they want to go to heavens, or maybe they want liberation, or some other fruits they want. But a devotee doesn't want any of these fruits. A devotee simply wants to love and serve Krishna. And the aparadharma involves practicing of pure devotional activities by which one serves Krishna. And when the devotee does aparadharma also, so paradharma is for practicing pure devotional service, and aparadharma is done for the sake of the maintenance of the body, is done for the sake of setting an example for society, is done for maintaining the order in society, but it is done with the motivation of pleasing Krishna. So if we don't do aparadharma, then how will we exist in the world, even just for maintaining ourselves? We have to do something. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo ya karmana sharira yatra pichate na prasiddheda karmana. So Krishna says sharira yatra, that the soul is having a yatra, a journey through this body, and while going on this journey through the body, the body needs to be maintained. Na prasiddheda karmana, one cannot maintain that. Now we can see in the Bhagavad Gita also that Krishna told Arjuna sarva dharman parityajya. So Arjuna gave up all varieties of religion and surrendered, because Arjuna confirmed what Krishna was telling, or reaffirmed it by saying karishye vachanam tava in 18.73. And yet what did Arjuna do after that? He fought. So he fought according to Kshatriya dharma. So here we see, Lord Chaitanya, we see him following the varna dharma, the ashram dharma as a strict sannyasi. And here we see Arjuna, who also is surrendering to Krishna, following sarva dharman parityajya, but is still doing the duty of a kshatriya. So essentially, as devotees, for us, the practice of transcendence is something which is important, and that is our ultimate aspiration. And there are activities that focus directly on transcendence. They are paradharma, and they we practice as a central part of our sadhana, and that is the aspiration that we carry into our performance of aparadharma also. So in that sense, the aparadharma and paradharma distinction can be in terms of action and in terms of motivation. So in terms of action, the difference is very crystal clear. The activities of pure devotional service are paradharma, and the activities of varnaashrama and everything else will be aparadharma. Of course, some of the activities may be adharma also, but with respect to this particular context in question, there is another classification that we can have from the point of motivation. So a devotee does paradharma activities for the sake of pleasing Krishna and developing love for Krishna, and the devotee, while living in the material world, has to act some way. So the devotee does the activities of aparadharma for the sake of bodily maintenance and maintenance of social order, and these activities are also done with the motivation of aparadharma. That means with the desire for pleasing Krishna, loving Krishna, and with that purpose when they are done, then actually such a aparadharma is not to be given up. Such a paradharma is to be performed. And of course, Parikshit Maharaj gave up his aparadharma also because he was on the verge of death. But that same Bhagavatam, which was told to Parikshit Maharaj, also tells the story of Maharaj Priyavrat. And he had renounced the world, but he was told to come back and take up the responsibilities because that's what was required. There were no descendants from the side of Maharaj Uttanpad, and therefore Priyavrat had to take up the responsibility of ruling. So, and he came back. So, if now even when Priyavrat was in the forest, he had not given up aparadharma entirely. He was following the aparadharma of a sannyasi, but he was told to take up the aparadharma of a grihastha. So the point is, the devotees also have to do aparadharma because we have to live in the world and we have to maintain the body and we have to play a part in the social order, our part, and we do it in an orderly way, but with the desire to please Krishna. That's how a devotee is. Aparadharma activities also become subsumed, included within the performance of aparadharma, within the performance of paradharma. Thank you. Hare Krishna.